How well is this going to go?
Probably terribly, because it always does.
Everything ends terribly all the time.
That's a really good, way to start this. It's great. I like it.
It's
positive.
A positive way is the only way that this podcast is ever going to be. It's always going to be positive. Negativity is not allowed.
I mean, I think this podcast is probably going to end up going the same way of like the gym. It's like, oh, we're really good. Yeah, we're going to do this podcast.
Yeah,
oh my God,
let's go to the gym.
We're going to get podcast abs, and then in about 2 weeks, we're probably going to say
no. I have not been to the gym for 4 weeks.
I haven't been to the gym,
and I paid 20 quid for it.
Yeah, it's great. It's the biggest waste of money I've ever spent. But
welcome to the podcast where we're going to explain how terrible our lives have gone.
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to an unnamed podcast. Coming to you, not live, from a student's bedroom in an undisclosed location because we don't want people to send us.
Which is also doubling up as a bike shelter at the moment.
It's a bike shed, it's a recording studio.
Star Wars Shrine.
Yeah, Star Wars Shrine. So pretty much everything. What?
Sex dungeon.
Okay, it's that kind of podcast. I didn't know. I thought we were censoring it. I'm sorry.
I might censor it, I might not. It depends.
You can cut it all out.
I might have a look at the iTunes thing and see what the rules are, and then if it says swearing is banned, then I'll believe it. And if it doesn't, fuck it.
Oh, shit. We have got some things written down to talk about.
We do have some,
Yeah, we didn't just pick up and start recording. Yeah. I don't have them written down. He has them written down. By the way, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dan.
And this is Dan.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, we have names, and we're going to talk about some stuff.
I got mine for my birthday.
So what's number one? Number one.
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War, yes.
Shadow of War looks fun.
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth. I don't know whether that just sounded really weird to me.
There's a little dash in the middle.
Yeah, I was thinking Middle of Earth. I was like, that's not right.
The Middle of Earth.
Middle of Earth. Middle Earth, Shadow of War, which is a sequel to 2014, I think, Shadow of Mordor, which was an amazing game.
Is that recent? I thought it was older.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Huh.
Absolutely fantastic game. I played so many hours of that. I don't know where all my time's gone. Probably
in the past.
Yeah, in the past. And they've released some gameplay for the new game. It's about 15 minutes. I think you've seen it now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Most of it.
What did you think? What was your general?
Holy shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, this is Shadow of Mordor, except a game series I like to play is the Total War series.
Yeah,
strategy game. What it looks like to me is it looks like the newest Total War, Warhammer Total War, is crossed in with Shadow of Mordor, and it's just made this amazing first person, somehow also a strategy game. But you could ride a fucking dragon.
You could ride a fucking dragon on it.
It was cool enough you could ride fucking beasts.
Yeah.
Now you can ride a dragon.
It looks great because I think when most people, so I mean, you and me are both big Lord of the Rings fans. I think it's safe to say. I can see your maps on your wall. Big fan. Love the whole world. Love it all.
Man, so good.
And I think everything that I love about it mainly is the big battles.
Of course, that's what makes the book so cool.
Exactly.
You've got those battle scenes.
Pelennor Fields, all that stuff. And this game lets you make your own battles like that.
Yeah. It looks like you will be able to set up these battles in the same way of the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to set up that tension, but on a larger scale.
And it's all procedural. I think it's such an ambitious idea. Well, yeah, in this gameplay trailer they show, they've got things like your allies coming to save you at the last minute from getting killed by the bad guy and stuff like that. And I think, oh, that's really cool. That's really cinematic. Apparently, that's all. The game's just generating that kind of thing.
Oh.
It's like...
I always found out weird in Shadow of Mordor when I'd basically completely fucked this guy up about 5 times and he comes back and he's literally covered in metal platings.
Yeah.
Messed up he was. It's like, how are you still alive, man?
I think I read an interview with one of the designers. I think it was early this morning, actually. And he was saying what he took away from the first one, what people loved the most, is that they actually got attached to these orc characters. Even if it's a bad guy who you hate, who's killed you 1,000 times and you're so frustrated, when you finally kill him and you cut his head off and he's gone, and I've had this the same, you feel kind of sad. You're like, oh, I was actually, it was a developed character. Yeah, it's a character that kind of develops along with you, kind of grows with you.
It's kind of like, imagine if Loki died because Thor killed him.
Yeah. It's
what the fuck's the point of Thor's character at that point?
Where would Batman be without Joker?
Yeah, exactly.
You build your own nemesis, hence the nemesis system.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly excited for this one. I think it's definitely my most anticipated game.
Yeah, there's another thing noticed about Shadow of War is it's not just nemesis now, is it? It's like friends as well.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. They've got because you build your own army in this one. It's a lot more comprehensive than the last.
A bit more civilized.
You can have like your allies betray you.
Yeah.
You can have people defect from the enemy side to your side. Yeah, exactly. Which is amazing. I can't wait.
Neither can I, to be fair.
Shall we move on to the next thing on the
It's Nioh. You played Nioh recently, and you wrote a review, so you're now a professional on this subject. Please tell me what the fuck this is.
I have to take the burden of this one because you haven't played Nioh, have you?
I hadn't heard of it.
You'd love Nioh. That's the thing. Nioh, if anyone who doesn't know, it's been quite popular recently. It's basically Samurai Dark Souls. That's what people have described it as.
Another game which I have not played.
Well, but Nioh is fantastic. It takes the whole Dark Souls formula of permadeath. It's really difficult, big boss fights, etc., etc., etc. RPG stuff. It transports it over to Japanese folklore. So you have things like yokai, which are like demons, and you have all these various enemies, and it's fantastic. I'd say it takes all the best things about Dark Souls, changes some of them for the better, and it's a fun game. It's not. I never found it too difficult. I always found it challenging, but I could enjoy it.
Out of 21, what would you rate it?
Out of 21, I'd give it a solid 19.5.
19.
I'll give it 5 schmeckles.
That's a really shit tip, man. So should I get this game if I'm ever rich enough?
I think yes. I think if it's a game that you are even vaguely interested in, I think it would reward you just for the sheer amount of hours you could put into it. It is just one of those games that the more you play, the more you start to feel like you get it. You're starting to understand how it works, and you just get better and better and more powerful. It's brilliant. I'm kind of losing the words and how I want to describe it, but I don't usually like really hard games.
Yeah, no one does.
I don't. Well, some people like
challenge is nice, impossibility is not.
But some people want to. They just want to fucking just bang their dick against the table, just constantly. The one games to just like fuck them.
Slap their dick and draw.
I don't like that. I play games to relax, to pass time, my free time. And this game was hard, but it never broke me. I never felt like I don't want to play this anymore. I'm done. Yeah, I never rage quit. I lost, and I was like, okay, you know what? I know what I did wrong. I'll go back and I'll do better next time.
To flip on a tangent, I broke a controller once for rage quitting several years ago.
Oh man, who hasn't?
It's like, I think I had a PS3 at the time. I was playing fucking Little Big Planet 2. I couldn't get past the mission through the wall, and the actual right bumper got fucking lodged, stuck.
True story. Both of my PlayStation 4 controllers have a bite mark in them. The last one, the triggers are broken on it, and it was like a dodgy controller. And I was like, okay, I don't care about this controller anymore. So it's like
you're gonna eat it?
No, it's my. No, it's my.
Don't show it.
It was my throw around controller. It's like, okay, I'll play like a lot of the button mashing games and that. I don't give a shit if it breaks. Played it. I think I was playing Mortal Kombat or something.
That's a good button mash.
Yeah. And then I got so angry, I bit into it. I was like, I'm done with that one. I got the other controller, nice, brand new, shiny, no marks on it. And then I don't even remember what I was playing. Yeah, no, I bit that one as well. Tasted like
plastic.
Tasted like expensive plastic.
Dinosaur.
It tasted like £60 because that's how much it was worth.
It's the most expensive meal you've ever had.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all had those moments when you break something and you don't want to, destroy a computer screen. I don't know.
You know what else I'm terrified of right now? I'm scared my flatmate is going to start playing his music at any moment. And it's going to ruin however successful this has been so far.
See, we didn't probably think this through, that we're doing this. By the way, we are both students. We're both staying in halls of residence at the moment.
Therefore, we do not have the peace.
We don't have the peace and quiet. We can't sleep. We can't eat.
I have not slept for 2 months.
I live half life.
This is not a lie, I currently own 3 cans of soup, 3 cans of beans, about 2.5 kilograms of rice, and some spaghetti. That's all the food I own.
I didn't think I'd live a student life as much as I am. All I've got is just like oven shit, noodles.
You put shit in the oven?
Yeah. I mean, it's already got white all over the top of my counter. So like, what's the point? Why not?
Fuck you.
What have we got next?
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
You saw really early gameplay footage for this.
I saw some really, really early gameplay, and it looks interesting. You know, I love pirates. I love Black Flag. I think you did as well.
Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed.
It's my favourite Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, me too. It's an amazing game. I saw some gameplay. I thought that was really interesting. It was one of those developer walkthroughs where they all play the game themselves.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of similar to what I watched it.
But they've scripted it, and it came off as really kind of like, oh god, the cringe.
See,
I couldn't do it.
The newest one is even better than that. It's not scripted at all. It looks like they had a plan as to what they were doing. If you don't know what Sea of Thieves is, it looks like it's basically a free roam pirate game. You have to have several players to man a ship at all. And you can basically sail around, dig up treasure, raid ships, I'm presuming. I haven't looked into it in as much detail. I probably should have to talk about it on a podcast.
I love the art style of it. It's a Pixar quality to
imagine a better quality World of Warcraft graphics system.
Yeah, it's kind of very colourful, very vibrant, so it's kind of game you
cartoony, but not to the point where it's childish.
Yeah, I mean, games like Dishonored did that and they had these kind of cartoony graphics.
Yeah.
But it was a very serious world. It's definitely one that I've got my eye on, but I can't say it's one that I've put too much focus in at the moment.
So what happens in this gameplay development thing is they go to this island, get apparently what is quite a rare treasure chest, so presumably it'll be worth a lot of money in the game.
Yeah.
Take it onto their ship, have to physically carry it and put it into the captain's cabin as an object that you have to lift and drop down again. Start sailing away, and I'm guessing it must be an open beta or alpha or something, because then there's this other crew, which doesn't seem to be a scripted thing, that attacks them. They must have left one person on their ship firing the cannons, because then this other crew from the ship just appears on deck because they've rowed round the back in a rowboat, slaughter all of them, take their chest and fuck off. It was actually brilliant. That sounds exactly like the kind of game I want.
Well, that's become a big thing in games recently. Games like
free.
Yeah, games like Rust are the new one.
Star Citizen, if that ever gets
Star
released.
Citizen, and the general basis is build things, create things, and watch other people fuck them up. That's what it is. Spend 18 hours building an awesome base in Conan and have someone else tear it down.
I swear at Star Citizen I heard that you could be able to create your own star... what am I thinking?
Space
stations,
yeah.
Yes. You can make your own space station. I'm just interested now. How much resources would it take to build a space station to watch a fleet of some rival, guild or something, fuck it up? And just cry as it happens.
I think that is a big thing at the moment because survival games in general have become quite popular.
I love survival games.
I don't know. I like the idea of it, but I don't know how I would react if I spent all that time building something and someone came and tore it down and took all my stuff.
Well, that's why you make friends. You need protection.
No, I'm a lone wolf.
A lone wolf?
Yeah.
You sure you just can't make friends, Paul?
Anyway, moving on to the next subject.
You wanted to talk about the state of Marvel and DC in the comics.
Oh, yeah, we're moving
Let's move on to a different topic.
Comic books.
Insert a jingle here.
I wanted to briefly talk about Marvel and DC because you are a comic fan. But you don't
I'm a comic fan, but the only comics I've read is Civil War, basically.
Yeah,
which was brilliant. But now that the film's come out, it's a bit redundant.
Yeah.
Civil War, the film looks so crap compared to that, because literally there's probably about 200 characters in the Civil War comic. That's
a coincidence, because I just finished reading Civil War 2.
I didn't read that yet.
That was a weird one, because without going into spoiler territory, the first Civil War was very much a kind of, okay, you can kind of see the point of both sides, Captain America and Iron Man, they both kind of got good points. I
was on Captain America's side.
I was Captain America's side. I think he's supposed to be Captain America's side. But Iron Man, you could see where he's coming from. This new Civil War is Iron Man versus Captain Marvel, who's got her own film coming out.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, I think it's Brie Larson.
No, she gets debuted in Infinity War, doesn't she?
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I think so.
I know that they've already cast the actress for her.
Yeah, that's what it's true. She's in Infinity War.
She's really filming that now.
Who's the actress again?
Brie Larson.
I've not heard of her.
She's all over the place. She's in the new King Kong.
I haven't seen it.
Well,
it's not out yet.
It's not out
That's probably why I've not seen it.
Yeah, she's in that. So she's doing quite well for herself.
Well,
but the Civil War 2 conflict was not as good, in my opinion, just because it was so clear that there was a good and a bad. Iron Man was the good guy. He was doing the right thing. Captain Marvel, she was the bad guy. She was doing the bad thing. But they were trying to make it seem like, oh, you don't know who you're supposed to side with. No.
Yeah,
side with the good guy.
You could.
It's basically, okay, she's a fascist. He's a liberator. Side with him.
Oh, what? She sided with Hydra or some shit?
The general basis of the Civil War was kind of like, you ever seen the film Minority Report with
I've heard
Tom?
of it. It's like just in perfect tendency of me, I have not seen it.
You have not seen it. The basic idea was they had someone who could predict when crimes were going to happen. She wanted to arrest people before they've done crimes.
Stop a war before it starts.
Basically like profiling.
Basically,
he said,
Captain America.
yeah, until they've done anything wrong, we can't arrest them. But they discover that the visions, the visions of the future are not concrete. They're not 100%.
Oh.
So he's saying, if you can't know 150% that this person is a criminal, you can't arrest them yet. They haven't done anything. And I think he's right. But that's actually not what I want to talk about. I've gone on a bit in a
We
tangent.
care more about Marvel Comics politics than real politics.
President Red Skull. Yeah. What I want to briefly talk about is that at the moment with Marvel and DC, the big two, they've both gone in very different. Well, no, actually, because that's something else I wanted to mention. There's loads of other comic publishers, but the Image Comics, I'd say they're probably number 3. It's not close, but they are number 3. Oh God, I'd say they are the best thing going at the moment. They do Invincible, which is my favorite superhero, my favorite comic series. Love it. But they do like Saga, Nailbiter, Black Science, all these like critically acclaimed comic series that anyone could pick up, even if you've never read a comic before in your life, and it would be for you. But what DC and Marvel are doing is Marvel seems to be erasing its past and embracing, okay, we're going to have new heroes and all these new stories and all these things.
That's something I'm worried about for the cinematic universe.
Yeah, because they've replaced all these characters, like they replaced Iron Man,
New Avengers.
they replaced Thor, they replaced Hulk, they replaced Wolverine.
Is there any actual characters left?
Captain America's still around, but there's another Captain America.
Killed or something. He got killed at the end of.
He became like, they reversed his super aging thing, so he became like an old man for a time, but now he's not. It's complicated. Comics are complicated. So what Marvel are doing is they're saying, okay, we want new, young, hip superheroes, new stories for new readers, and people aren't liking it because people want to read stories about. I want to read about Peter Parker. I want to read about
Tony Stark.
I want to read about these characters that I grew up, reading about. I want to read about these characters that I love. And they're bringing all these new characters in, they're kind of forcing them into our faces, and people aren't liking it.
I think we should become the new marketers for Marvel. Hipster Marvel.
Do you want new shit? We've got it. But what DC are doing...
know what we're doing.
Well, exactly. That's what we're here. DC are embracing the past. They're bringing out new, superheroes, new series. They're kind of, focusing on lesser known characters. Yeah. But they're still saying, we know what you want. You want Superman. You want Batman. Exactly. You want all these characters and heroes that you know and love. We're going to give them to you. We're going to give you the kind of stories that you've always wanted.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's polar opposites what the companies are doing. One is, we know what you want. We know you love these. We're going to give you more of this while also innovating. And the other's saying, well, this is what we're giving you. If you don't like it, fuck you, because we're going to make so much money from the films that we don't even need your comic money.
That's a good point.
They don't.
Your argument would be DC is doing it right.
I'd say, DC is doing it right. For me, because I've been reading for a long time, I feel like they've got our best interest in heart more than Marvel does right now. But with the films, they could lose their comic.
They could lose
tomorrow.
All the comic revenue, and they'd be set.
They'd be slightly less rich.
Because like 1%.
Yeah.
Those films are literally in the top 10.
Every year.
Ever.
And they've got like what, two or three every year, roughly.
2 or 3. What's this year? Spider-Man 4-3, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Then you've got Infinity War, Black Panther the next year.
Yeah, and then Captain Marvel eventually.
Yeah. Ant-Man 2's this year.
I can't even imagine the amount of money they must make from these films.
I think they should give us 1%, just out of sympathy.
If we had 1%,
we could quit uni and go to a nice suburban house.
With just 1%, we could be done. Our life is set forever. What are we talking about next?
What are we talking about next? I have been listening to the audiobook of The Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yes.
Because...
You can't read.
Because I can't read. I'm illiterate.
We didn't want to tell anyone, but unfortunately it came out here in the first episode.
If there's any spelling mistakes in any of these podcast notes, don't make fun of me.
Yeah. You listen to the audiobook.
I tried to read the book originally. My dad owned some more, but I got through the first 2 chapters and I was just bored shitless. I just couldn't. It was just basically this is a book on Hobbit lore.
Yeah.
Isn't this interesting? Not really, because I really want to learn about how people in Somerset live.
I haven't read Lord of the Rings in a very, very long time, but all I remember is there's a lot of songs and a lot of talking about food.
Even in the audiobook, there's so many songs.
Like, no, that's not what I want.
Here's a good example of how dull the start of Fellowship of the Ring is. I'm currently 5.5 to 6 hours through the audio time of 19 hours, and they've still not gotten to Bree, which is like, 20 minutes into the film, which is like 3 hours long.
I like the idea of audiobooks because if you're, I don't know, say you're driving to work, you can listen to the
this has been so convenient when I travelled back and forth to London
put it in your iPod, walking around, going to uni, whatever. But personally, when I read a book, sometimes I have to go back and reread something. If I misread it or if I,
When did this happen?
Yeah, so I'd imagine there'd be a lot of like rewinding because I didn't quite catch that last bit. Or you haven't pictured it in your head yet.
I can't have a decision on whether Fellowship of the Ring as an audiobook is good just because they haven't even left for Shire. I've really tried. I'm 6 hours in. I am going to finish it whenever I do more travelling, but they ain't left the Shire yet, man.
I'd say they definitely sorted out the pacing in the films compared to the books.
And they actually put the battle scenes in. That's I have read The Hobbit, and the end of that, the battle scene, Bilbo, he just gets knocked out and he wakes up. He's like, shit, Thorin's dead.
That is such a cock tease.
We won at least.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, you missed. It was so awesome. Yeah,
it was so good.
There was like dragons, like his big army. It's like,
I'm sorry, I'm incapable of writing battle secrets.
I don't want to do this. I need to just knock him out. Yeah, it's fine.
Knock him out. I'll save some time.
I haven't finished reading the book in I don't know how long.
I'm currently halfway through World War Z, which is quite good.
Yeah,
but I got to halfway through that last summer. Because I was working, I just did something to do on the bus trips, which was like 20 minutes a day.
I think the last book I read was The Prince of Thorns, which it was a really good one. It was kind of like Game of Thrones. It was set thousands and thousands of years in the future when man has kind of reverted to the Middle Ages.
Yeah. Told me about this.
Yeah, and it's about like a prince who becomes like exiled from his kingdom. He has to take back his kingdom. But the point of the story is he's a complete sociopath. Like, he's not a good guy. He's absolutely, he's evil, he's terrible, he does all these awful, heinous things.
So it's like a hero you can't root for.
Yeah, you kind of... The rest of the world is terrible also, but he's
less
really
terrible.
Yeah, he's slightly less terrible. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones.
You can root for him, but you don't feel good about it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really good. It was a good one. It's kind of reminds me of...
It's like, imagine Hitler in a world where
everyone's Mecha Hitler.
Wow, Hitler, man, you're such a cool guy. But that's only because everyone else is Mecha Hitler.
Flesh and blood Hitler. He's slightly better.
Slightly less anti-Semitic.
He doesn't have laser eyes. It's kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn in that takes place so far into the future that it seems it's in the past.
Yeah,
like humanity's reverted back to its like kind of earlier stages in society.
I had an idea for a story for that once. It never came to anything.
What? Like in the future?
There's one in my head. I found out a theory that if the Earth would stop spinning, like on its axis suddenly, basically everything would be flung at like a few thousand miles eastwards.
Yeah.
It's not nailed down, just it'd be like that. Except for people who are in aircraft, they might have a chance of surviving. But if they can navigate the storms and stuff afterwards. So I had an idea that because obviously it'll stop spinning, the sun's only going to be on one side.
Yeah.
So one side's going to be boiling, the other side's going to be freezing cold. There'll be like a ring in the middle that's habitable. Where everyone lives. Yeah. And it's basically like a sort of fight. I don't know what the storyline was. That's kind of as far as it goes.
That's a pretty cool idea, though. I know we said before we started that we have so many topics we wanted to talk about we don't really have time for.
Yeah, we cut it down to about 12, and we've since added 4 extra onto that by talking. So
we have. Well, I want to add one more on just to say that For Honor, the video game, is kind of similar to that concept. Is it? Well, yeah, it's 3 factions. You got knights, you've got samurai, and you've got Vikings, and they are magically transported to this planet, but there's not enough resources. So they're all on this very small landmass. They don't speak each other's language. They don't know each other. So what do they naturally do? They fight.
Kill.
Yeah, and it's set like hundreds of years later when they've been fighting for forever. Like, it's just this never-ending war. Yeah. It's a really cool concept. They don't really heavily go into the story of it. It's more of a multiplayer game, but we've got a single-player campaign. You won't want to play that. But it's very interesting. It's something that I'd love to see more of because it's a good concept.
Yeah. Well, I think this is where we put a jingle into the actual topic.
We need to make some jingles. I'm not musically talented. Dan does all the audio
I have a
stuff,
guitar,
computer
but
stuff.
that doesn't mean I can make a jingle.
Guitar and a bike. Student life.
Okay, so I found an interesting piece of news from the day of recording.
Okay.
Where somebody has broken into the White House.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like the biggest cockblock ever. He ran in, or whatever, however he got on, but he had a backpack, so oh shit, then there was nothing in it.
Nothing in the backpack.
I think he just wanted to scare the shit out of Donald Trump for the fun of it.
See, I'm thinking it's like from like one of those old 80s films like E.T. or something, you know, they always have some fucking kid running around with a backpack and he's got all his shit in there and he's running from shadowy government.
Home Alone on another one of his adventures.
Yeah, man, this guy who broke into the White House, like, they detained him. He's trying to get back to his little alien buddy he's got stashed in his loft. He's going to starve to death now because they've arrested this guy.
Oh my god, it happened in, like, just before midnight.
Well, surely they've got people out there at midnight.
Oh, yeah. He might have... Yeah, he only got onto the grounds, it looks like.
Obviously, he got his packed lunch, that's why there's nothing in there.
Ah, he must have, like, worked there and left it.
He was going for a nice little, you know, picnic on the lawn of the White House. And he got nabbed.
I'm sorry, I thought this was a public park. I thought it was a replica.
I'm sorry, mate, I gotta go back and left my fucking cheese strings.
Oh, man.
I hope we don't get too bogged down in politics. I think I'm the least political student there's ever been.
I mean, I like politics, but that doesn't mean I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's just student life in general. We don't know what we're doing. I'm stumbling around.
I've got to do a seminar on Monday, and I'm just doing this instead.
Yeah, that's great. I've got loads of work to do as well, but I thought this was more fun. Let's do this. God, if only things were fun. If work was fun, it would be great. We'd do it all the time.
I think that's supposed to be the point, but it turns out it wasn't.
No.
So pick a course you like. Okay. Oh.
Well, that's what I say. Isn't it? Do what you love and the money will come. Or do a job you love.
I did like history, and now I'm starting to hate it.
You'll look back on this one day and realise that it's the best years of your life. Maybe.
Do you want to sound a bit more like a middle-aged man?
Well, I'm closer to middle age than you are, sir.
If you only live to 50, you're nearly halfway there.
Well, let's move on because I'm getting depressed. I'm triggered right now.
So another thing is the newest Pirates of the Caribbean trailer.
Yes.
I do not care how shit this series gets. It's like Assassin's Creed. I will still watch it.
It's been quite a pirate-themed podcast now that I think about it.
This has been a pirate-themed
We're both watching Black Flag at the moment, so I think we've got pirates on the brain.
Yeah. I do like pirates. I've always liked pirates. But Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Yep. Firstly, that's a pretty cool name.
It is a cool name.
And it links back to the first one. That's the first thing you hear in the first film, isn't it? Is Elizabeth as a kid singing Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I mean, I've seen...
Was it? No, I can't remember.
Didn't she sing Isn't It a Pirate's Life for me? I don't remember.
That song is said at some point.
Yeah. Either way, when I heard about this film, I was kind of like, because the last film did kind of sour me on the franchise.
It wasn't as good, but I'm only saying that. I know it was shit. It's just because I like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm saying it is.
I mean, the first three, absolutely adore. Some of my favourite films ever.
Yeah.
I think
that was such a good trilogy. That's
what I've got from the trailer for this new one, I think is the most telling for me is I like the new bad guy, Captain Salazar.
He looks good. My favourite bit.
Scary.
My favourite bit of that trailer is where Barbossa's like, he's killed thousands of men. He goes, no. Pirates.
Yeah. It's cool because they've got Javier Bardem playing him, and he is a fantastic actor. He did the villain in Skyfall. Do you see that, James Bond?
Oh yeah, that's why I recognised him. Skyfall,
fantastic.
He's a good actor, definitely.
He was also in No Country for Old Men, where he played the bad guy, and he was terrifying in that.
I feel like my catchphrase for this podcast is going to be I haven't seen or I haven't played that.
No, it was he played like an assassin, and he was like the Terminator, but a real person. He was terrible. Really, really scary. He's a big guy. I think in real life he's like 6 foot something. He's a big fucking guy.
I'm 6 foot something. I'm not that tall.
Yeah, he's 6 foot something more. Nearly 7 maybe. I don't know. Big guy. Either way, excited for the film.
Something I didn't like in this trailer is another fucking ghost. I know it's like a running theme, Pirates of the Caribbean, but another over-the-top
ghost ship.
Yeah. Like the Black Pearl, when it was a ghost ship, it wasn't that much change. It just had some ripped sails, basically.
It was just the point of the Black Pearl, wasn't it? It's like the fastest ship around, like nothing else.
That was just how it was built. It wasn't like some fucking magic
ship.
And then
the Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman I liked just because it had so much stuff. It could fucking submerge. It could release the Kraken.
Davy Jones was like the god of the sea, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. But then Blackbeard ship, they turned the Queen Anne's Revenge, which is a cool enough ship by itself. You don't need to add stuff to it.
I only saw that film once, so remind me. Was that like he could make the ship move?
He like had a magic sword that made all the ropes fly around and grab people, and there was flamethrowers on the front of it. No. What the problem with the fourth film is they brought in an actual historical character. Yeah. You notice with the other ones, there's no historical characters in them. They use, inspiration. Yeah. Like Jack Sparrow's quite obviously based on Jack Rackham and things like that. Yeah. But bringing an actual character in has really damaged it. That
was a big disappointment for me as well with the fourth one, is that they had Blackbeard in it, which is, legendary pirate. Wasn't the most successful pirate ever. That was
Bartholomew Roberts.
Yeah, but he is undoubtedly the most famous pirate ever.
Oh,
if you say pirate,
Blackbeard, exactly when it comes to.
But so they got Blackbeard, and it's like, okay, cool, awesome, legendary pirate, and then they got the actor Ian McShane, who was an amazing actor, and like, oh my god, he's the perfect casting for Blackbeard, and he was good.
It was good in the role, but Blackbeard did not belong in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he was let down by the story. I had a similar thing to go back to James Bond. I don't know why I'm talking about James Bond, because I'm not even a huge fan.
Neither am I.
The most recent one, Spectre, they had Christoph Waltz in, the actor from Django and Inglourious Bastards. And they had him in as the bad guy. And I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. He is the perfect Bond villain. He is such a good Bond villain. And he was amazing. And again, the film let him down. Yeah. And that kind of thing bothers me, because it's like, oh my god, you were so close to being like fantastic. And you fucked up because your script was bad or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Pirates of the Caribbean, though, the new one.
It does look good. What I'm so happy about is that Orlando Bloom is back. So when At World's End ended, I was like, oh my god, the next one's going to be good, because Orlando Bloom's going to be in the role of Davy Jones, except he's going to be a good guy, presumably. Yeah. And then he wasn't.
Well, he's got the brief showing in the trailer.
Yeah, there's like literally a split-second shot of him.
But don't you only get like the sea shit on your face if you don't do your duty?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
He's been a baddie. They've still got Poundland Orlando Bloom in there as well from the last one. He's back.
Why was he there again?
He's basically we can't afford Orlando Bloom.
Wasn't he like a bloody priest or something?
A missionary or something?
Yeah, it's like a missionary or something.
He's exactly the same. Oh, he's got a ponytail.
They do seem like they've expanded his character a bit.
Yeah,
he's got a bit more personality.
It's weird that they replaced Orlando Bloom with this, bargain bin Orlando Bloom, and then we got the real Orlando back.
Seriously, if you see
this guy's still here.
If you see the trailer, you see it looks like they've tried to make him as much look like Will Turner as they can.
It's so weird.
And it's not working.
It's weird that they've kept him on now that they've got Will back, the real Will.
Yeah, well, I guess he can't play the role he used to, being his new position.
Yeah, I suppose.
I am happy for the return of the Flying Dutchman, hopefully. Though.
He will probably fill the role of like the naive young pirate
I won't be surprised if Will Turner fills the role that Barbossa had in the third film.
Well, Barbossa's
sort
back
of
in this one.
Obviously Barbossa in the third was sort of like the anti-heroes, like they had a bad past.
Yeah.
But he's kind of on their side.
I don't even remember how the last film ended.
Well, the fourth one.
Yeah.
Blackbeard gets killed by the Fountain of Youth, which is logic.
The Captain Jack, though, has he got his shit back at the end?
It's him and Gibbs walking on a beach, and like he's managed to nick all those bottles of ships in from Blackbeard's cabin. So he's got like about 100 ships just in a bag, and he's got to try and figure out how to get the Black Pearl back.
So he's got a fleet now, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll come into it or not.
I would hope so. That's a pretty cool concept.
Fleet of pirates.
Yeah, pocket fleet.
Pocket fleet. There's like literally 100 bottles in that bag. That's not a pocket fleet. That's a fucking navy.
Okay, sack fleet.
Sack fleet.
Sacco fleet.
Yeah.
So
let's go to the next bit.
Okay.
Which I've realised we skipped for TV.
We skipped TV. I can't see your thing.
We managed to skip TV.
What are we talking about? Should we go straight into Black Sails? We're already on the pirate wagon.
We like pirates.
Pirate ship. We like pirates.
You just really said we're back on them.
Well, I said wagon first, then I said ship.
But that made it almost as bad.
No, it's fine. We're pirates. Don't pirate this podcast.
I don't care if you do. We're not making any money on this.
That's true. Do what you want, if you're even listening. So Black Sails, you started watching about like a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I've watched about 3 series in a week.
Yeah, because you're not doing any work. I started watching Black Sails, I think, when the second season came out, and I watched the first and second and a little bit of the third. And I don't know why I stopped watching. I think it was around the time where I moved cities, so I think I just it got lost in the shuffle. But then you started watching it. You immediately caught up to where I was. In fact, you finished it before I did.
I finished it like literally about 5 hours before you managed.
And then, so I started watching it again. And as soon as the theme music started at the start, I was like, "Oh my god, this show is so good! Why?" You know what? Watching this?
If it wasn't copyrighted, I'd definitely put in a snippet of that theme song now.
It's not just a song. The song is amazing, but the actual opening credits, like all the statues and stuff, is so cool, so like well done.
I love that show.
And I had that from the very beginning. It's like Vikings. Vikings are opening for that.
Yeah, they've had the same one, which is confusing because in the opening scene they've got a lot of characters that are now dead.
Yeah, well, that is just true for Vikings in general because they start killing off characters more and more.
I think there's only one main character left from the first series now, isn't there? Which is what's it? Who's Ragnar's wife?
Lagertha.
Lagertha's the only one left from the original series now.
Spoilers.
And Roller.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if he's coming back. Last we saw of him, he's getting slapped up by his wife. Yeah, I suppose.
No, back to Black Sails.
That is true, though. They have the same theme from the start. I think when you find one that's just really decent, you just stick with it.
It's such a good song.
I mean, you started watching the fourth, haven't you?
Yeah, I've watched 2 episodes of the fourth.
I haven't.
The end of the third series was too engrossing. I was like, I need to watch more.
I really want to watch it, but I think I'd rather wait for it all to come out so I can just binge it. I hate catching up with a show.
I mean, most of the series, there's only 4 episodes left to be released.
Yeah, it's 6 out of 10,
which is depressing because the 4th series is apparently the last one. That's what it's advertised as.
Yeah, it is.
And what's more depressing about that, having played Black Flag and read Wikipedia, everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason, like, they're all like, oh yeah, we're going to take back Nassau, it's going to be really good. Like, no, you're not. You're all going to die.
I think we spoke
That's how the Pirate Age ended.
We spoke about this before, and that the problem with historical shows
is you can't change the outcome.
Well, I think that's why you need to do more things that are kind of, let's say, non-canon, non-historical, alternative history. Because things like Vikings, things like Black Sails, you get to know these characters, you get to really enjoy it, but ultimately you're not going to succeed because you don't exist anymore.
If your civilization still doesn't exist, you didn't win. That's especially obvious with the pirates because they were gone by the 1730s.
That was the same with Spartacus.
Yeah,
Blood and Sand, was it? That was a good show. But again, I know it's like, you're not going to win, Spartacus. I know I'm investing, but I know that you're going to die.
It's like Flint's just like, we can do this. It's like, no. You can't.
The weird thing is with that, though, is that they have brought in all these fictional characters along with real historical characters.
I like how basically what they did is they picked the 2 most prominent characters from the Treasure Island novel and stuck them in with all the real ones.
Yeah.
What I'm quite irritated, though, is we haven't seen Mary Read at all.
No,
there's 2 female pirates and Bonnie, who's in there. Mary Read is not.
Yeah. I think the only big pirate they haven't had in there other than Mary Read is Black Bart.
Yeah,
he hasn't shown up.
Like I'd said, I think it's currently set in 1715 and 60, and Black Bart didn't really come about till 18.
I think they have messed around with the timelines before, though.
Yeah.
Ned Lowe, which was...
Ned Lowe was such a cool character.
He was an awesome character.
He lasted terrifying. 3 episodes.
He was terrifying. I thought, okay, this guy, final boss.
Really extremely unstable.
He's like the dude at the end of Streets of Rage.
I thought he was going to be the main guy to kill at the end of the second series, but no.
It was cool what happened to him, but he got taken away.
Charles Vanes.
But Ned Lowe was a historical pirate. He was real.
Yeah.
And his death in the show is nowhere close to his death in real life.
Well, you've seen the end of Series 3 now, haven't you?
Yes.
Hornigold's death is nothing like that either.
Well, yeah. Charles Vanes is.
Yeah. But Hornigold gets killed in like a cyclone off the coast of Cuba.
I'd much preferred his death in Black Sails.
Yeah, definitely. But it just shows maybe they won't all die at the end because they've changed quite a lot of things.
That is true. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that whole slave versus navy battle never happened.
I think my favourite thing about Black Sails is the journey of John Silver from the start of the show to the end.
I didn't like him at the start.
I don't think he was supposed to. He was like this clean-shaven, pretty boy, kind of like...
Who was just lying to everybody.
He was like a con man, yeah. And then, fast forward to where we are now in the series.
He's like this badass being set up to be a pirate king.
He's like this kind of like master manipulator badass. He's still not tough because that guy that he killed was
what's his name?
Nerd. Lefleur.
Some French shit.
Yeah.
But by this point, Silver's got a peg leg.
Yeah.
And he just knocks this guy down. And then you were like saying...
I saw the character he knocks down. I fucking hate this
character.
My God,
he betrays the whole...
I hate him so much.
He's such a dick.
And he knocked him down. I was like, I bet he's probably going to just like leave now. And the guy's be like, oh, I'll get you. I hope he stamps on him with his peg leg. That would be cool if he did that. And then bam, he does it like 20 times. Yeah,
it hurts his own stub as he does so, and it literally collapses this guy's entire skull.
It's like horrific and brutal and horrible, but I couldn't help but just go, yeah.
It's so good.
It is good. He has changed as a character, and I think that's the sign of a good show, is when you can see it's a narrative arc, isn't it? You start one way, the events of the story happen, and then you end up somewhere else. I'd say another good example would be, do you watch Game of Thrones? You don't, do you?
I watched the first 3 episodes and got bored.
I find it so weird that you don't watch Game of Thrones.
I probably should try it again, because I did this with Vikings. I watched the first 2 episodes, got bored, didn't watch it for months, watched it, holy shit. Same with Black Sails, and I've done the same thing with Game of Thrones, and I haven't gone back to see if I like it now.
I find it weird because I became friends with you because we're both big fantasy nerds.
Yeah.
And I think that it's weird that you don't watch the biggest fantasy show in the world right now.
Elder Scrolls, Witcher,
and
Middle-earth on my
all over the wall. But there's a character in Game of Thrones, without going into spoiler territory, obviously, even though we've spoiled something.
Yeah, nobody watches Game of Thrones, super obscure, no one knows.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if you've heard of it. But Jaime Lannister.
No budget.
Jaime Lannister at the start of the series is very much kind of like Jon Silver. He's, the young, pretty boy who everyone hates, and he's like, oh god, he's so like good at everything, and everyone loves him, but you're supposed to hate him. And then by the end of the show, or at least, the show where we are now, it's not finished yet, he's this incredibly sympathetic character that you do root for, and it's so weird how it has changed as the show's gone on. Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. I think character development is
the keystone of any story.
Exactly.
If you don't have character development, it's going to be boring as fuck.
I mean, imagine that the story guy starts this way, all this shit happens to him, and then he ends, and it's exactly the same for him, and nothing has changed. Awesome.
I think that's one thing that Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't have. To go back to that, there's not a lot of character development. How has Jack Sparrow changed since the first film?
That is true, but
at all Barbossa.
Have they ever tried to make it that kind of story? It's always been this kind of light-hearted fantasy role.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'd say Will Turner has a bit of a narrative arc.
Yeah, but not from his own decision. This is like his personality hasn't changed. It's just his circumstances.
I'd say it changed a little bit towards the end. He becomes a little bit more serious, a little bit more brutal, I'd say. At the start, he's kind of just like,
don't know what the fuck he's doing.
I'm a blacksmith,
I make you swords.
I better train every day. Woo! Why?
Actually, to be fair, going back on myself, I think Captain Jack just changed a bit. So if you remember in the first film, like half the plot is Jack Sparrow screwing everyone else over.
Yeah.
Whereas by the third one, he votes for Elizabeth to be the Pirate King. He's the one that gets it to be.
I do remember towards the end of the original trilogy, I did get confused with all the this is similar with Black Sails. I think it's just pirates in general. So all the double crosses, all the alliances. Yeah. Like, who are you with them now? But are you with? It kind of like started to boggle my mind a bit towards.
This is why I shouldn't lie.
Yes, don't lie, kids.
Otherwise, no one's going to understand what's going on.
You'll get killed by pirates.
So, Ironfist.
Ironfist.
I don't know what the
segue to Ironfist. Ironfist is the last of the original 4 Netflix series, the superhero series they're doing.
Yes,
because
I've watched neither of them.
Oh, they're amazing. Well, what they're doing is they're doing 4 different series for 4 different characters, and then they'll do a 5th series that's all 4 of them put together, because they make up the superhero team, the Defenders.
Yes.
So you have Daredevil, the first one, amazing, probably my favourite. He's had 2 seasons so far.
Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. Well, Jessica Jones was next, which was also really good. They're all very different, which is what I like. Daredevil was very much a superhero kind of thing. It was very it's kind of like Batman-y,
anti-hero.
Yeah, anti-hero, kind of like dark and gritty. Jessica Jones is more of like a detective thing. And it was very deep and psychological, and it was brilliant. It wasn't so much a kind of superhero explosion.
It's kind of like how Winter Soldier wasn't really a super film. It was a Cold War thriller.
Yeah, and then
superhero level.
Luke Cage is more like a kind of crime kind of series. It's more like it's all about like gangland and stuff. There's not a lot of
so similar to how Ant-Man starts off,
like a heist film.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. And so the new one, Iron Fist,
is apparently not very good according to reviews.
I haven't heard that. I saw the trailer. It looks good.
If I just have a wonder.
See the controversy with Iron Fist at the moment is that he's just not as well known as a character.
Oh boy. What? 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, Jesus.
32% on Metacritic.
Okay, yeah, I did not know.
Jesus Christ.
I was excited for this, and now it's ruined. Yeah, Iron Fist. I'm still looking forward to it. Don't let these reviews, hamper that.
Iron Fist review roundup. Marvel finally made something awful.
I mean,
oh dear.
To be honest, yeah, the run had to end sooner or later.
Well, it's like Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
I would have never lived up to any hype that came.
I'd say, what Marvel films have flipped? I think Age of Ultron was a slip up. Iron Man 2 wasn't great. Iron Man 3 was okay, but a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Thor 2, I think, was a bit of it wasn't a bad one, but I don't think it set the world on fire.
I liked it just because Christopher Eccleston was in it.
I liked.
I was like, you're back into like a fantasy thing. I missed you as the Ninth Doctor. Please come back.
Yeah, I liked the Dark Elves and the kind of like fantasy aspect of it. I think that's what the new one's going to be.
Yeah.
Which I think is that something we're going to talk about for 3.
We can do
because there's not a lot known about it yet. There's been some.
I don't like how his hair's been cut.
I don't like that either.
Like this looks too modern for Norse mythology. Thank you very much.
Well, the new one apparently, because obviously the Hulk is basically co-starring
and Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange, but I don't think.
I don't think he's going to have as prominent a role. He might like have an advisory bit to start
an extended cameo. Let's say. I think Hulk it's basically.
Yeah, it's both of them.
You know how Captain America: Civil War was a Captain America film, but he was basically co-star Iron Man.
No.
Well, everyone else.
It was an Avengers.
It was an Avengers film, yeah. But I'd say if you could pick 2 people who are the stars of that film, Iron Man and Captain America.
And probably Bucky.
Yeah, and Bucky. He's the third. But Thor 3 is very much a. I think I read somewhere that one of the directors or someone stated it was a buddy movie. So between the Hulk.
It does sound
Thor.
good. I can't deny. Which would be good because the 4 films have been the weakest. I think
they have actually, yeah. Which is weird because he's a strong character, but his solo films.
There's not enough personality. They've focused too much on other things.
Well, that's the thing because they can take a kind of more fantasy approach to it, but then again, now Doctor Strange is around. Do they?
And he's got a better character.
Yeah, has he taken that kind of niche from them?
I think he will take that role because obviously at the end of Civil War they set up what is going to be a new Avengers team.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch will take over.
I think it's great how many superheroes we have right now that
there's so many.
It's becoming such a
There's probably going to be about 30 characters now.
I'd say it would be, yeah. Still not many female superheroes.
What have we got Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, soon to be Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Agent Hill, if you want to add her to the list.
I suppose. Then you got Jessica Jones, I suppose, that TV series, and that's no.
Yeah, but I wonder if they will cross over. Well, I doubt it very much.
It's in the same universe.
Yeah, but
it'd be great if they would, because Daredevil is a pretty legit superhero. Like Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, they're kind of obscure. Daredevil, in the comics at least, he's a pretty serious guy. He's up there with the likes of
he's part of the Avengers at one point.
He's not a. He's not a backseat. Yeah, he's not a jabroni at the bottom, that no one likes.
The peasant.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the feudal system.
But Thor 3, I am excited about it. I like the idea that we're going to explore some other planets, because I think that's, what everyone loved about Guardians.
Do you reckon there'll be any cameo in Thor 3 to Guardians?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was, just because of...
Because they're supposed to come in Infinity War, so it might be a good, but it is actually connected. We're not just pretending it isn't.
I mean, because they could obviously bring in one of the Guardians themselves, or they could just do something a bit more obscure, like
even if they just had it very briefly in the background, not even focused on,
like the Collector maybe, or the Nova Corps, or something like that, just something to
link
together.
Was it Avengers? What that had at the end, the teaser bit at the end was who had the before Guardians came out. One of the Marvel films had the Collector at the end.
That was Thor 2.
Was it?
Yeah. Because he gave them the
MacGuffin
that they were after.
The MacGuffin.
You not heard that term?
McMuffin.
The McMuffin that were after in that
keep
film.
that McMuffin safe? It's okay. It doesn't rot.
But yeah, I think that this new Thor film will be pretty good. I think that the idea of, because I think they're going to explore some of the things they did with Planet Hulk, which was one of my favourite comic series. That was a good one. It's basically Hulk is dropped on an alien planet and becomes a gladiator, and then he basically becomes Hulk Spartacus, becomes a gladiator, leads a revolt, overtake an evil king. What else do you want?
Yeah.
And in the process, smashes a bunch of stuff, obviously.
Yeah. This podcast is making me realise how little of popular culture I've actually looked at.
Yeah, it's making me realise that I don't really do enough with my life. Play games, watch TV, read comics. What am I doing?
Oh, man.
So, have we got anything next on the agenda?
Well, something I want to look at as a regular segment to whatever this podcast is called is Tweet of the Week.
Tweet of the Week.
Which is kind of pointless because you don't have Twitter.
I don't have Twitter.
And I got Twitter 2 weeks ago.
I should probably set up a Twitter, but I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe
I'm holding out. I'm like one of those guys who like lives on an oil field and he won't sell his house to the
No, you're like one of the Australian Aborigine people who resist the technological expansion of the empire.
I'm like the Na'vi from Avatar. I'm like, get the fuck off my planet and stay away from my big tree.
I don't want your indoor plumbing.
I don't want electricity, man. But yeah, tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. This week is something. I'm trying to find one still.
Tweet of the week. Shall I kind of vamp for a little bit, play some piano?
That would be a really good idea. Well, if you could just distract the audience that we may have or not.
So, what's going on, audience? How are you guys doing? How was school or work? If you work. You might go to school. I go to school. It's university.
I've found a good one.
Okay, he's got one.
Quote Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. I like this guy. He's definitely an up-and-comer. He's going to be big one day.
Don't let fake news, that was in capitals, tell you that there is big infighting in the Trump admin, meaning administration. We are getting along great and getting major things done.
You know what that reminds me of? That's like a girl on Facebook who's like, I know you guys think me and my boyfriend are having problems, but we're not actually. Things are going fantastic. We went to Nando's the other day. It's things are great. Stop talking about it. Fake news.
He made me pay for Nando's.
Yeah.
But, we still went.
No, things are all okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I just love the term fake news.
Fake news. That's a big hot button at the moment. Everyone's using it for everything.
Yeah, but it's so funny as well. It's like, how is the news fake only now?
I mean, yeah, news has always been fake in a way. It's all kind of.
Oh yeah, they're not told to. They don't have to tell the truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of bias in it. I think
bias in everything.
I've been spending too much time at university because
doing journalism.
Yeah, because they do talk about bias a lot. All I've learned from university so far is never read The Sun and never use Wikipedia. That's all I've learned. That's what they tell you day one. Don't use those things. You're going home.
Yeah. Oh man.
He's like that kid who takes credit for everyone else's work. It's
like according to him, in the past month, unemployment has dropped from 42% to 5% in a month.
Wow, he's saving the world, and we just,
I think I had the wrong impression of this guy. This guy's a good president. Yeah, I think he'll be remembered as one of the best.
This guy's a good egg. So, moving on from Trump Corner. Trump Corner.
Tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. Well, it's
Tweet of the week.
It's Trump Corner.
Tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. I think we're probably going to wrap up in a second. So I think last topic, I would like to talk very briefly about Logan. I know you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. You were supposed to go see it.
I was supposed to go see it, but then I ran out of money.
Student life. Please.
I live on £80 a fortnight. Don't go to university. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but Logan, I just wanted to briefly talk about it because it is such a huge thing. It's such a huge film.
Well, it's at the top of the box office at the moment, isn't it?
It's not so much it's just a really popular film. It's a very important film.
It's the last.
It's the last Hugh Jackman film after 17 years and 9 films.
Yes.
But it's important because it's such a subversion of the genre. It is not a superhero film. And that's why I came out of the film thinking, that was really good, but I don't know, there's something wrong with it. There's something weird about it. I don't know how I feel. And it took me a few days thinking, well, yeah, it's sad. It's a sad film. But I realised it's not a superhero film. It is a drama. It's a Western about a superhero. And it's so
Somebody
weird
just happens to have superhero
yeah,
abilities rather than
exactly. If you took
because.
it and put it with some other characters who are not superheroes, who don't
Basically, if you had
claws.
Hugh Jackman, but he couldn't have claws and he could be killed after a gunshot, then
Yeah,
it
basically.
would be completely different.
But it warped my mind because I was thinking like, wow, this film is not a throwaway film. I think they're going to be talking about this for quite a few years. It's done something that a lot of films, superhero or otherwise, have attempted, but they never succeeded. And it's just one of those films that sticks in your mind, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since I saw it. But I think that is all for today, unless there's anything else you want to bring up briefly.
I'm not interesting enough to try and think of more things.
Not interesting enough, don't do your homework. That's why we're here. So, thank you for listening to the first one.
If anyone did.
If you are here. If not, it's just us chatting shit. But that's cool too.
We're going to be chatting shit whether anyone's listening or not.
Yeah, this is just a conversation in general, but we just happen to have a microphone here. We lose nothing if you don't listen.